I heard Marines can kite zealots all day.
I see. I didn't get the joke. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting episode of Esports Canada TV. I am your host, at Quinn of the Net, and we are live for episode 16 on this beautiful Monday night. I'm joined by my co-casters at ESC Songers, Nick Songers. Nick, how are you doing this evening?
Doing great this evening. Thanks, John.
Love that, Nick. And as well, the lesser of the two, Frank Ricci at ESC Jovian. Frank, how's it going?
Have you been practicing your voice all week, John? That was like really
radio.
laying it on thick.
Was that?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I get excited at the start of the show.
Yeah, you sure do.
And then it's just downhill from there.
Yeah.
Frank, how you doing this evening?
I'm very well, thank you for asking.
Fantastic. Guys, tonight we have a very special guest continuing in our Jonathan series. Last week, of course, we had Jonathan Wright. And this evening we have Jonathan Burton on the show. You may know him as Carbot, the creator of the famous Carbot animations, the lovable StarCraft series. Jonathan, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Fantastic.
How you doing?
I'm doing quite well. No one ever asks me.
Nobody cares, John.
No one cares about you.
Well, I'm just saying, it'd be nice once in a while. Jonathan, you make these lovable animations. Everyone has seen them. They've been on NASL. Mr. Bitter himself said this guy's going to be very famous. Follow him. How did you get started? How did you get into esports in general?
So like I guess the breakthrough is that the question you're asking, or like how did it begin?
I guess kind of how'd you get into video games and then kind of into the competitive scene to the point where you were interested in making animation?
Right. Oh, okay. Video games. I mean, growing up, me and my brothers we'd play StarCraft 1 and Brood War. I mean, I was like 12 at the time, so I wasn't any good at it at all. But yeah, and so I mean, I've always been a fan of games. Super Smash is one of my favorites, and for console. But Blizzard games, especially StarCraft and Diablo, have always been something I love. And RTS, I mean, StarCraft has always been the only game, aside from Warcraft 3 for a bit, but has been the only game that I've actually, for RTS at least anyway, that I've actually like had a passion for and loved.
Right on. Where did the animation background, were you always kind of a creative kid, or was it something that you were a fan of StarCraft first and it was kind of how can I express myself and express my love for the game?
A little bit of both. Obviously I love the game, and but I'm actually going to school for animation. It's a 4-year course, and I'm in my second year. But I've always had the love for creating. So whenever I had a chance to create, like example, StarCraft 1, the campaign, I'd be on there half the time. The campaign editor, sorry. I'd be on there half the time and making levels, even though I didn't know how to triggers or anything, but I just make levels, because I thought it was cool and stuff like that. So whenever there's like an option to create, I love getting my hands on that and being able to do that. So I mean, animation seemed like the right thing to do. I thought about it for a while, and I ended up going to school for that. And so when it came to StarCraft, played the game a lot and made fun of it a lot, like the things you see now kind of thing. And I don't know, it seemed only natural to make it come to life,
And so where did the kind of connection between your animation background and then StarCraft 2, I mean, what was the push to say, okay, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to do this show?
My brother's also an animator, and so like we really connect on a humor level. And so when we would often talk about like the funny stuff that would happen in a game, or just mock things or whatever. And eventually, like I just thought, I was like, I'd really like to watch this, you know, and so I said that to my brother, and my brother he's graduated, so he's really busy now. He has a family and he works full time and stuff like that.
Oh man, don't I know it?
Yeah, that's right. And so so I took it upon myself to do it, and I would go to him though, like after I'd like sketch out, because I knew I had to stylize it, as you see, it's very stylized. Because animating, you need to choose simple drawings in order to produce every week by yourself, right? Because each episode is like 1,000 to 2,000 drawings minimum.
Wow.
But and so I had to stylize it, and I would go to him and say, "Well, what do you think?" And he liked what I was doing, but mainly it was just myself, and and so I just followed through. It's for me personally, it's one of the like I'm not someone I struggle with following through on things, but I really love doing it. Like I did a test animation, which maybe I'll show one day. For my first little thing, and I was just so happy, that I made something, and so yeah, it was something that I really enjoy doing. So I think I'm able to. That's what helps me follow through on things.
That's awesome. I really like how you got to marry two things you really enjoy, and that'll probably really help you push. Continue to do this, and in the chat you can see there's so much love for you. Not only do people find you to be an attractive man, but they find your animations very attractive as well. So really
I think most of those
glad that
handsome comments were from Nick, actually.
What? What?
One of them is for sure.
Awkward.
But my question is, you said an animation, it takes a lot of you're drawing a lot of frames basically. You recently did a promotion for NASL, which was rather lengthy. It feels like it was a little bit longer than your typical weekly episodes. And I saw that you did one for WCS as well, right? Was it WCS?
Well, I guess technically no, it's BWC because it was Battle.net World Champion. But I mean, a lot of people refer to it as WCS. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So now that you're picking up even those extra things, how do you balance like school life and being able to keep producing weekly episodes and also do these extra projects?
I couldn't even call it balance. It's so hard. Oh man. To be honest, my school's been suffering a bit, which I'm so glad the semester's over this week. So hopefully I'll be able to. What happened was I had a hard drive failure before I released episode 4. It was.
Oh.
I was this close to, instead of releasing episode 4, releasing a picture on YouTube saying technical difficulties and a picture drawn in paint on a public library.
Of a dog pulling the cord out of the outlet. So.
Yeah, but so ever since the hard drive failure, it really put me behind, and I was playing catch up with everything after that. So hopefully I'll be able to get myself in order again, and not finishing episodes hours before I release them, as I've been doing, pulling all-nighters and stuff like that.
Have any of these been something you could pass off as a school assignment?
Yeah.
I wish. To be honest, and it can't, because the animation quality, though it's decent, it's not good enough for one of my homework assignments. Like the standard is much higher for a homework assignment for where I go to school than what you see on StarCraft.
Do any of your professors know that you are famous on the internets?
Actually, no. I haven't told them at all. I don't know. I just haven't.
Do you ever get like a bad mark back, and you just like slam down your YouTube channel in their face, and just be like, 2 million people think that was worth an A+. So.
I wish. Yeah, no, I should. No, I haven't done that, obviously, since they don't know. But yeah, I definitely like. Oh man, like I feel so torn. Like there's this great opportunity I have going on YouTube, and then there's my schooling, which I learn a lot from still. One of the bigger reasons I definitely need to stay, and I have no intention of quitting school, is that of 3D animation, and that's something that like. I mean, you can know animation, but 3D animation does take. It's a little bit different, although it's the same principles, but it takes a little more time. So, I mean, as much as I love 2D, I think it's awesome. So much flexibility, but as you can see with StarCrafts, but yeah.
Awesome. So I have a question. Like, you create all these amazing cartoons, you bring all those funny ideas and funny stories that, all these players think about, and you bring them to life. What goes into making an episode of StarCrafts?
Like from the start, or
Yeah, let's say just from the start.
okay. Well, there's the idea. Usually it's the main joke. For example, the Colossus one that we just saw. It's the Colossus tearing up everything on the ground that is Terran. Especially Marines.
Great feeling.
Just the panic that a Terran would go through. So that's the main joke. And then just thinking of things that happen sometimes in games, the overreaction, and maybe throwing in a little bit of things that don't happen in games, like the Marines jumping to get on the barracks to get out of there.
Yeah.
The kind of putting almost like as if we are the units, kind of, but still keeping it to the game level, I think is important. And so the idea is there, and that's the foundation laid. And then what I should do, and I have done a couple times, but I should do every episode, is storyboard. And storyboarding is when you pretty much draw the basic outline of the episode, shot by shot. Camera angles, things like that, and actions. And I have done it for a couple episodes. Some I haven't, which I really should, because when I haven't done a storyboard and I just start animating, sometimes I sit there and I just stare at the screen and I'm like, okay, I had this in my head, but what kind of camera? I have no idea how I'm approaching it. And so it does waste a lot of time. I don't.
Right.
And then I just animate from there. And it's funny because I kind of work backwards. Again, probably shouldn't, but a lot of times I do the animations first and then the backgrounds last. Partially because the background's so simple. I mean, it doesn't really matter, right? So, yeah. So, and then after hours and hours and hours, once I'm done animating and coloring, I export it to Adobe Premiere, and add sounds and tweak anything if I need to and stuff like that.
Awesome. That's so cool.
And what are you using, the software to do the drawings and the actual animating?
Flash, Adobe Flash.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the chat is blowing up with people asking questions. We'll probably, if we can, we'll pick some. But I have a question before that. I wanted to know, you did mention how obviously time is a factor and it's a difficulty, it's something to overcome. But what would you say is the biggest challenge that you face as an animator, especially trying or being internet famous like this? What's the biggest challenge that you face? That maybe you have faced.
The time?
Aside from the time, yeah, because we kind of touched on that. I have a feeling maybe that would be a big factor, but what's another thing? Especially if you imagine somebody who's just starting up and maybe they want to do something similar to you. What's something that you feel that they would probably face as a challenge?
Well, normally it would be getting your foot in the door. And I didn't really have a trick to getting my foot in the door. I mean, it just kind of happened. My friend had the idea of putting it on Reddit.
Yeah.
I think that's where a lot of the community found it, and that's where Blizzard found it. And Blizzard talked to me. They emailed me the day I launched episode 2, And
Wow.
so yeah, it was really quick. And they asked me to feature my stuff, and I was like, "What, are you kidding me?" Like this is like I didn't know what to say, right? Well, I said yes, obviously, but uh, so but I think usually it's weird because I think thinking of new content that's because I think a lot of like shows, TV show, like actual TV shows and things like that. I think and movies even like trilogies and stuff. I think a lot of times they they build off their reputation from their first big hit or their first big season or whatever it is, and then I don't know if you guys will agree, but I feel this way. Then the writing starts to lack or
Mhm.
start to fall a bit because now they have the audience, right? The thing that I really want to do and really want to keep is that that quality, you know, that freshness. That I don't want it to be like, okay, well, I have a lot of people watching now. I can kind of slack a bit, you know. I don't want to do that at all. I want to make it good. I want to make it every episode good. Although time does, and it still is like the biggest factor, but with keeping episodes weekly, I think that will be the biggest challenge. Yeah.
Hmm.
How long from start to finish? I mean, from the idea to the end, how long does that process take?
Um. Oh man, it depends on the episode. The Colossus one, there's a lot of things going on. There's Marines running everywhere. There's barracks launching. You know,
Yeah.
uh, the Colossus and stuff like that. When there's a lot of stuff going on like that, it's probably the entire process 15, 18 hours.
Wow.
Um, again, I'm just guessing because I never sit there and time myself.
Yeah. You have to stopwatch every time you sit down.
But the earlier episodes, like episode 1 to 3, especially, like I mean, I could probably sit down and do that in a couple hours, like 6 or 7. Again, though, like when I do something like say a Marine running,
Mhm.
that's something I can reuse.
Yeah.
There's a couple different ones I have for Marines, but that's something I can reuse. So the more I do, I kind of have more resources to use, and so that helps a lot too. So.
What about something like the NASL one where it was quote substantially longer than your usual episode?
Yeah, that and the Blizzard championship one. They were both. I think the Blizzard one was actually longer. They're both almost 2 minutes or 2 minutes.
Mhm.
And yeah, that was they took about as long as the Colossus one actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long of kind of a heads up did they give you where they're like, hey, we heard you do these awesome animations, can you do one for us tomorrow, sort of thing? Or was it like, we have the NASL finals in 2 months, can you do us something? Like, how long did you have to work on that?
Well, that was actually, you said the exact order. Blizzard talked to me a couple days before.
Wow.
But it was Blizzard, so you were like, okay, I'll do
Yeah,
it.
I was
I'm
like-
not sleeping.
Yeah, I was like, yeah. It was. They were like, this is kind of what we want. We want a trophy in it and you know, some action. I was like, okay, King of the Hill kind of thing. He's like, yeah, sure. I was like, okay. And the guy was really great. The community manager, he was really awesome, and he just said he wanted a you know, a nice surprise for the community, and so that was really cool. And then NASL actually let me know a little less than a month. I think it was 3 weeks in advance. But again, as I've been struggling to keep up with things, I didn't work on it till
Yeah.
a little
Classic.
later.
Procrastination. And I mean, were either of those the kind of thing where you did the finished product and you sent it off? I mean, did they come back and say like, it's good, but change this? Or was there any sort of like feedback, or was it just like, oh my god, these are amazing, thank you so much?
The Blizzard one, it was positive feedback. The NASL one, I gave it to them a little bit late. I think it was about a day late, or at least they received it a bit late. A couple things happened. I won't get into, but so there was no time for really much feedback or anything.
Right.
But I mean, from what I have seen, seems like pretty good feedback.
No, most
Excellent.
definitely.
I
Questions
have
from
a
the
quick
chat,
question.
Frank? Yeah.
Well, not a chat question. Just something I noticed, I think, in the last episode. Why does the car have a Band-Aid on it in the most recent episode?
The one before that, it was the Band-Aid. It was
Oh,
because, yeah, if you remember the one before that one, the car crash.
Oh, clever. I
Yeah.
didn't. That was the Hellion when the Infestor smashed the Hellion? Is that
Yeah.
what you're
No,
saying?
no. At the beginning of episode, what was it? I don't know. Honestly, I don't even know. 14, 14. There was a gray car that crashed into the green car at the beginning.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
And so the next episode, I just thought it'd be fun to throw a Band-Aid on. I don't know.
I guess. Oh, that's meta, man. That's. I did not. I
Mind
was trying to
games.
think of the connection, but I'm like, how come I don't get this? This is an inside joke I missed.
Yeah, no, just to do with the last episode. That same episode, actually, because, again, the episode prior to it, I accidentally put the wrong episode number.
Right.
I saw
yeah.
that when I was
You
looking through your
put the
episodes today.
The annotation, yeah. And so the next episode, what I did to make fun of myself, you might have to rewatch it, but it did the wrong number, and then it switched to the right number. I don't know. I go a little bit crazy when I'm animating for 10 hours straight, so I just, I don't know, I just do random stuff. I don't know.
Maybe
Um,
maybe while we ask these questions, Nick can ask some good questions we picked from the chat. John, did you want to run an episode at this point?
I'm gonna do that right before the lightning round, so we can get the audio and everything without interfering.
Awesome.
All right.
Nick, go ahead.
So yeah. So it's a question from the chat. This is a pretty cool one from Kaniro SC2. How did you come up with the flavor for each race? The derpy Terran, the super serious Protoss, and the cute kid like Zerg.
Oh, that's a good question. That's kind of how I feel when I'm playing the game a bit. Like I'm a Protoss player, so I guess I just answered anyone who had that question.
Yeah.
And the first unit, pretty much describes their entire race. What it's called is a zealot, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
They're zealots, right? And I feel that's how they are, And for this cartoon, I thought it would be funny and interesting for them to still be like that. They're very serious and on the get-go kind of thing. And Terran, when I play Terran, for a while anyway, for the first year or two when I played, I could never Bioball. I could not beat it. Sometimes
Me
I
too.
yeah, but I just hated it. I hated it, and I felt like they just walked around and killed everything. And anyway, and so Terran, there's a couple of units that are semi-serious, but not really. They kind of are a playful fighting. They're still there in the battle mentally, but kind of not really, doing their own thing as well. And then the Zerg, I think Zerglings describe a lot of it. Especially when they have their speed and stuff like that, they're just everywhere, and it's, I don't know, Zerg are animals kind of thing. Yeah.
The animals.
You're an animal, John. You're an animal.
I know. A couple other questions from the chat. Sergeant Rock 89 wants to know what your favorite episode is.
Oh.
Or is it one yet to come? Is there an idea maybe you have that you're like, that's going to be?
There is an episode that's coming that I think will be one of my favorites. I don't know if it will be. It will be one of my favorites. But that'll be about, I think, 2. But as of right now, I don't know. I like the Colossus one. Also the Infestor one everyone loves. That idea actually, my little brother did that. He plays Zerg. And he did that with a siege tank, though. And he excited it. And I was like, his name's Sam. I was like, Sam, where are you? Help me. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm playing cars. Tanks and driving around. But I don't know. I like a lot of them. Actually, it's hard to choose, to be honest. They're all my babies, right? So
Yeah.
Another question from chat from earlier. I didn't catch the name on it, but thank you for this question. Any plans to start featuring HOTS units once the game comes out?
Yeah. I was kind of waiting a little bit for Blizzard to figure out what they want in the game.
You made an entire Warhound episode, and then
Yeah,
Yeah, the scrap.
You got scrapped.
sewed on the past stuff as well, though. But I'm kind of waiting for that, just because. Yeah, I mean, 2 years from now, you see an episode about the Warhound, which isn't in the game. Maybe he'll come back. I don't know. But
yeah.
and it's kind of like, what, if people, it's like I don't know. I'm sure there's a bunch of alpha units in StarCraft 2 without the expansion that people don't even know about, kind of thing. But probably a couple weeks before it's released, I'll start doing that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Another chat question from Kredicic. Hey Carbot, just wondering, would you ever do an episode featuring something from the storyline?
Yeah. There's a lot of ideas going around in my head. That's one of them. To be honest, it's kind of been pushed to the back a bit because I feel that there's other ideas that would help better. And but yeah, that's definitely something that I originally had, but haven't got around to. And maybe sometime in the future that'll happen.
All right. I think we're about good on time. We do want to show the Colossus episode for sure, and then we want to do the lightning round. Oh yeah, another question from the chat. This one's really good. Any hints on the coming soon link on the website?
Oh, that is that's a series. We're going to be doing other series. There's actually two. The other one should be there. I haven't put it up yet. So there's two different series coming, and one of them will be based on console games, and the other one will be based on another computer game that I love and cherish a lot. So
Excited. That's going to be
Will
awesome.
Will you be getting help on those at all, or will it kind of be like StarCraft will be 1 week, the next week will be console, the week after that will be?
StarCraft will continue every Saturday. So
Okay.
I mean, I should actually. That's a good question because it's a really good question because there's two things that I need to say, and that's StarCraft will be continuing every Saturday, but also I will be getting help. My brother, who I mentioned near the beginning, I think. He will be mainly in charge of the console series. So.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Just that you said you were so pressed for time and trying to do this show every week. You're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and now I'm doing 2 more shows. So.
Well, again, though, I'm guessing and I'm hoping I'll be able to get ahead between semesters. So I mean, and be able to have like 5 or 6 episodes done as I release, more kind of thing. But yeah.
Just before we move on, can I ask? So you had "coming soon" written, and I thought it looked very much like the old Nintendo sign, or just like the Nintendo sign. Is that purposeful or was that subliminal? Because now that you said consoles, I was like, wow, I wonder if he did that on purpose or if he knew.
A little bit on purpose, yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Give it away. Don't give it away, Frank.
The design
he said
guy does
consoles,
everything on
so-
purpose, Frank. Nothing's by accident.
Yeah, there's actually there's been hints in the episodes. So
Oh,
Treasure hunt has
I didn't even get
started.
the band. I didn't
All right,
get
the interview is
band-aid.
over. I have to
John
go
didn't get
watch
the
the
Kiting
6
Zealot.
new
You have no idea what we're doing.
Yeah, I have no idea.
there's two hints in the episodes, and they're both pretty subtle. Like, I mean, one I'm pretty sure no one will get, which is too bad. I probably should have made it a little bit more clear, but the other one you could get if you were looking for it.
So how about during the lightning round? If anybody in chat thinks they know it, do you think it'd be good if they just maybe talk to each other and try to hash out what it might be? You don't have to say what it is and what it isn't, but you can at least see what your audience thinks and if they actually do get it.
Okay, sure.
Okay, go ahead, John.
One last thing. Do you have any plans to go to any major events in the upcoming year?
Yeah, I've been wanting to. Nothing like solid, but for sure, yeah. I mean, I actually haven't even been to one, like physically.
What?
Yeah, I know. I'm.
Are you from? I know you're at Sheridan right now in Oakville. Are you from Ontario?
Yeah.
From Oakville?
No, I'm actually Niagara Peninsula, so near Niagara Falls.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah, I'm going to play the latest episode, Shadow of the Colossus. And then right before that, though, I want to tell you about the lightning round. I'm sure you're aware of it, having seen all of our episodes before this. We watch your show, you watch ours. That's how it works.
That's right.
So the lightning round, for anyone in chat who are first-time viewers, we like to have our guests sit down and be tortured by shooting 10 lightning-fast questions at them. They are skill-testing, physically demanding questions. You'll be sweating, twitching. You'll want it to be over, but there is no end. 10 questions. We need you to answer them as fast as humanly possible. I'm going to give you 1 minute and 42 seconds, which is how long this episode is, to really think about that and prepare yourself. Okay. And we will go into this. So enjoy. I couldn't mute my mic, and I didn't want to laugh out loud into the mic the entire episode. Kept catching myself. That was fantastic. Are you ready, Jonathan,
I think so.
Burton, for the lightning round? 10 questions.
Okay.
We're beginning now. Oh, I forgot the lightning sound. Damn it. Question number one. Shut up, Frank. Question number one. Why Carbot?
Because that was... That's a big question.
Lightning round.
Sorry, that was when me and my brother would play Diablo 2. He would make when we would do bail runs. He would make the game called Carbot for some reason. So, and then we would do the next bail run, Carbot 2, 3, 4, and then I don't know. So I used that name as
Whoa.
That's pretty much it.
That's probably the hardest lightning round question we've ever asked anyone, to be honest.
Yeah,
that was unfair. That was unfair.
That was way too long. Half a point. Number two, your favorite childhood cartoon.
Beast Wars. Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
+1. Number three, a pro or caster you'd love to have participate in your process. Donating their personality or voice or something.
Any of them. Husky, I don't know. Let's say Husky.
Correct answer was Day 9. Number four, 3 favorite players, 1 from each race.
Sorry?
3 favorite players, 1 from each race.
Oh, man. Can we skip that one?
No, there is no skipping. And let it be known that you were the first person ever to ask to skip a question. So no matter what you answer, you're gonna get like -5 on this one.
I don't really have favorite players, to be honest. I do like I love the way Hero played at NASL, and I do like Huck as a player as well. But they're both Protoss, so
yeah,
I don't keep up with esports as much as I would like. So I mean, I can't really answer that as well as. I know a lot of people are going to be disappointed in that. So.
All right, -5. Number 5. If I could animate on any show, past or present, what would it be?
I really love Last Airbender, Avatar.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I love that show.
+5. It's gotta get back.
That movie was great.
Get it back.
Number 6. Would you rather attend a private Nickelback concert or watch the entire 2.5 Men series front to back?
I think I'd rather watch the 2.5 Men series.
That's +5 right there. Number 7. What's on the top of your Christmas list?
Diablo 1.
Oh.
I don't have it. I don't want to play it. It's so bad.
+2. Number 8. Your highest rank achieved in 1v1.
In one of you, it's platinum. Yeah.
Someone in chat said high masters.
No, not masters, not diamond, platinum.
As a fellow platinum brethren, you get +2 for that.
Yeah.
Number 9. How much would EsportsCanadaTV, us three, have to pay you to put us into an episode?
You just got to be good enough. So I think there's no pay allowed.
No pay allowed.
Man.
Okay. And question 10. How much would we have to pay you to not include Nick in that episode?
$5.
$5. Fantastic.
Got yourself a deal.
Sir, you survived the lightning round. I will now calculate the scores.
Calculating going on there.
Yep. Got my abacus out. Yeah, you waffled on that one. The Carbot explanation was like 7 minutes. Ooh, 10.5. That puts you near the top. In the top 4, which doesn't mean you qualify for the Tournament of Champions that we do at the end of the year for the lightning round. Don't get excited. That's not a real thing at all. That's just what we tell our guests. So congratulations, you survived the lightning round, sir, with a 10.5.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Before we kick you off to send you back to whatever schoolwork or other animation you need to do, shout outs that you want to give either to people who have helped you along the way or where we can follow you, Twitter, Facebook, things like that.
Would it be right if I answered 2 more questions that I noticed in the
yeah, for sure.
Of course,
Go for it.
One of them was about Brood War units, or StarCraft 1 units, I should say. And yeah, there will be at least maybe a couple of episodes dedicated to Brood War. Eventually, not anytime soon, but eventually. Also, the other one was is that a dinosaur on the top of the car?
Yeah.
Yeah. And yes, it is. The dinosaur will be lit up, so you will see it in all its glory when my brother has fully integrated in animating and stuff like that. So that's been there for that reason from the beginning, because me and my brother have always wanted to have our own animation studio together. So.
Awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. And the dinosaur is a satellite dinosaur. He has a satellite dish around his head, and he has a knife in his hand. And I'll explain that another time, maybe.
You are an enigma wrapped in a mystery. Where can we keep up with you? If, say, I've been living in a cave with my fingers in my ears, where can I find all of your beautiful animations and follow you on Twitter and Facebook and all that?
YouTube is Carbot Animations. The website is carbotanimations.com, and Twitter and Facebook. Oh, Twitter is at Carbot Animation without an S. Guess it was too long. And yeah, Facebook is facebook.com/Carbot Animations. So
fantastic, and as well, I'm going to show right now on the screen swagling.com.
Yeah, that's what I was actually going to mention. I definitely want to buy the Protoss hoodie. It looks freaking amazing.
Already purchased.
I'm happy with the way they turned out, actually.
Mm-hmm.
They look really good. I actually saw my friend Dave wear one to our last Barcraft, and I saw a shirt, and I'm like, I didn't know he had shirts. So I'm glad to see that you are selling those things.
Perhaps Esports Canada will purchase one and give it away on our next episode, if that's a thing.
John, are you going to do that?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking to me.
No, sorry. Yeah, John quit.
Yeah, John, are you gonna give away a couple T-shirts right now?
What's going
on?
Maybe eventually.
You're a rich student, right?
Yeah. I think so.
End of the semester. That's when students have all their money.
That's right.
Jonathan Burton, thank you so much for coming on the show this evening. Can we count on you to come back sometime in the new year when you've launched your 2 new series?
I'm sure that's very doable. So
fantastic.
Awesome. Excellent.
It's concrete, yes. Guys, make sure to follow Jonathan Burton on Twitter and Facebook as well. And a new episode will be coming out this Saturday.
Yep, as per usual.
As per usual. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. Guys, we're going to take a quick 30-second break, and then we'll be right back to talk about tournaments that happened over the weekend, NASL Season 4. We're going to touch on the best of 2012 that we're going to lead into next week as well. I'm sure Frank wants to talk about the Ritmax tournament. And Frank and Nick were casting for ESC Elite on the weekend in Toronto with some big names and past guests that we've had. So we're going to talk about that. And we will be right back.
Thanks, John.
See ya.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, John, you didn't have all things set up. Come on.
What was that, Frank?
Even Nick is scoffing too. Oh, did you get it fixed?
What?
Are you done?
You know how smooth of a transition that is? You know how much time that takes me, Frank, to
So
do
much
that?
effort. Excellent.
Never ask how I'm doing at the start of the show.
I'll ask
I
you
feel
next.
so bad. Next time.
Jonathan Burton's such a good guy. Has an exam tomorrow, but still comes on the show.
Oh, he had an exam tomorrow? Damn.
Yeah, man.
Yep,
Well, good luck.
he's a good guy.
That was so
Someone
cool.
should pull the fire alarm tomorrow at Sheridan College. Give him an extra day to study.
For esports, for Carbots.
Go to jail for esports. Yeah, but
I
yeah,
would do
you
it.
guys should definitely check out his stuff. I'm really impressed with a lot of his actual shirts and stuff. I think the drawings are wicked.
Yeah, I was
And I
so
really like the
surprised to
style
find
of
out
you.
that he was just a Canadian kid going to college
Yeah.
and doing this in his spare time.
Yeah,
It wasn't
no,
a team
like-
of like 20 professionals.
No, just that one guy warming everyone's hearts, man. It's
Kind of makes you wonder what you're doing with your life, huh, John?
Pretty much, yeah. I would just watch an episode and then just kind of like sit in silence for a bit.
eat some ice cream.
Look at my tattered clothes.
It's an existential situation for you, actually.
Yeah,
You
I
start
can't watch
questioning
them
life.
alone. I can't watch
Oh,
them alone
man.
anymore. So, guys, you casted for ESC Elite Esports Championships, a group here in Canada. They run tournaments, I believe, exclusively out of Toronto because that's where Drekken, the organizer, is located.
Yeah.
So they ran that down at A&C, I believe, was the name of the place.
Yep, ANC
yeah.
World. It's so it's a secondhand shop where people can bring in their old games and their old kind of like consoles and stuff. But recently, last year, they opened up a side project of theirs, which is a underground sort of arcade. And so what we did was we converted that space into a kind of a StarCraft arena. And we had these show matches going on there, and these show matches were between some of the best of the Canadian players that Canada had to offer, right? So we had DDE, we had Combat X, we had Hendralisk, we had Rise, and Eggy, and then the last one we had
Tubby the Fat.
Tubby the Fat, exactly.
To be the fat. Why hasn't he been on the show yet? Get him.
He's
on.
gonna be.
we
We
did.
got his contact, and we
Good.
got Eggy's contact. Dude, we're networking. Toronto is the mecca of esports, right? It all
That's what we're
happens
trying to
here.
do.
Sorry, John. Who'd you get from St. John, anyways? I thought that's what we were gonna do this week. You were gonna get someone from St. John.
Shadowcat. Who
Oh,
recently
nice, yeah.
He achieved platinum. And he's going to come on the show and tell us
Mhm.
about placing second in a tournament recently to me.
Oh,
We're gonna talk
Oh
about-
no!
Yeah, he's
How
got
come
a lot
everyone
of
loses
really
to
great
you,
ideas.
John? Are you
How do you
rating the
beat them,
St.
John?
John?
How do you beat them?
Well, Nick, as you saw earlier when we played, I have a
You
very high
were
skill level.
you are pretty good. I mean, I only won because I played Terran.
That's true.
Yeah, is it a high skill level, John, or do you play Zerg?
I play Zerg.
But yeah, that event was awesome. And like Nick said, the underground arcade, when I first showed up there, I was like kind of in awe. They have like stacks of consoles like from the floor to the ceiling, and it's like Super Scope, Super Scope, Super Scope, Super Scope, Nintendo 64, Super Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Super Nintendo. It's like, where is this place? This is amazing. It was really cool to be in that room. There's literally consoles everywhere. Like they're just hanging out. There's like all these consoles everywhere. There's old school TVs connected to consoles, and it's a real cool place for any nerd junkie, really. But that's just Toronto. Anyways, the event was really cool as well. And then afterwards, we got to go out for drinks, and some of the pro gamers went out with us, and it was just a really fun time. Like people were like complaining about race matchups, and they're like, you know how you beat this? No, this matchup is BS. You can't do this, and oh, this is garbage. So there was a lot of banter in that way.
I loved Complexity Rise when he was just talking about, what he did. It was just so matter of fact, Like, he did A, therefore B, therefore I did C and won. It was just like
it was just
Yeah,
a series of show matches, right? It wasn't kind of crowning a champion. Okay.
Yeah.
Who won between Rise and Tubby?
Rise.
Rise did.
Rise,
Yep.
okay.
Rise, yeah.
It was close though. There were a couple of close games. Tubby went this really strange, like it was like Void Ray Phoenix into Charge Lot and just Charge Lot pure Void Ray. Like you don't really see that later, like in the higher levels of play, but he made it work somehow.
That series was from the people that I was speaking with, they were saying that was probably one of the better series in the bunch. It was really good, and it was like fast paced, and there was a lot happening, and there was a lot of unique things. I mean, we saw Whirlwind, which I don't think many people have seen lately. I know it was in the NASL map pool, but so they played Whirlwind, and that one was crazy. There was a whole bunch of snipes on hatches. Rise was like blocking expansions with proxy queen creep tumors. It was pretty crazy.
Nice. We do have Dota keys to give away, correct, Frank?
Oh, do you want to do that?
I would love to. We had a bunch
right.
of hungry gamers in the chat.
Is there anybody who wants a Dota key?
Looks like
when you say it like
wants one.
when you say it like that. Okay, why don't we?
Oh, wow, there are people. Okay.
For a
Awesome.
question, people in the chat, answer this. You don't have to be the first one to answer. Just be one of the people that answers, because I think we have multiple keys to give away. Who won the Combat X versus DDE matchup from the ESC Elite on the weekend? You have a 50-50 chance of getting it. So
don't go watch the VOD.
Did Combat X win or did DDE win? And just put your answer in chat, and we'll pick a winner or two in the next few minutes.
Oh, I gotta check my items.
Your items. So sweet. Does ESC Elite, is that something they plan on doing again?
Yeah.
I think that's the plan. They want to make it, I'm not going to say traditional thing. I can't even think of the word, but a thing that is going to happen periodically.
Ongoing, periodic
thing.
tournament
I'm
series.
not sure how often it'll happen, but maybe we should have Drekken on at some point, especially if he does start establishing another episode, then he'll be a good guest to have on.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's interesting because what they're trying to do is, instead of having all this kind of tournament format, which it seems like a lot of the other organizations are doing, where it's open brackets, people can qualify for that. They want to focus more on the show matches. So, a while ago there was an article posted and was talking about how esports should be more like the MMA format, right? Yeah, UFC format. And that's what these guys are trying to do. They're creating storylines between players, having the smack talk before, having the interviews, and just hyping it up, and then finally having, that huge showdown that people are craving for.
No, that's funny because that's how MMA started. Like the earlier UFCs, it was a one night, like 8-man bracket where you fought 3 times to win the whole thing, and by like the second and third fight, you've already been through hell and back, and so you started to see, kind of piss poor matches at the end of a tournament, which doesn't always happen for, esports tournaments, but you can definitely see maybe the games at the end aren't as exciting and kind of fast paced as the games in the beginning. because these guys have been there for 3 days banging out
Exactly, just like
200 games to get through like an open bracket sort of thing. So maybe that is something that's beneficial to players and viewers as well. NASL Season 4. Did you peoples watch?
I did. Was able to see
Ah.
the finals with Hero and Violet. Oh man, excellent games there.
Give me a breakdown. I missed the finals. I watched most of the tournament the day before. I did have to stop the second game in to Violet versus sort of. It was sort of, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did have to stop because it was getting way too late. But I got to watch most of the games the day before. But how did the finals go, Songers?
It was basically, it was all tied up. It was 2-2, and they were going into the last game, and it all came down to, I guess what the casters were saying was that Infestor nerf, right? And you know how the Infestor got basically, they lost one range on their fungal growth, right? That was the most recent patch. And so it came down to this last fight, and Hero's army, he's going for an attack. He has his Immortal, he's got his Sentry, he's got his, lots of Zealots around, and he also has Storm, right? Now, Feedback's range is it's so much more than Fungal Growth now. So these Infestors come and try to Fungal, but they all get Force Field off, and then all the Infestors just get picked off by Feedbacks and just getting sniped. And then, you know, there was no Fungal Growth at all for Violet, and then that was basically it. So it really showed, you know, that little tweak and how it could change the matchup.
It was funny on
Yeah.
Reddit when they announced that patch. When you went to the comments, there was one I think from Frodan when he was saying like, I was flying with Hero like a week ago, and he asked me, you know, what do you think the chances are they'll patch Zerg before the NASL finals? And Frodan was like, not a fucking chance they'll do that. And then it ended up happening like a week later, and there he went and won the tournament. So
Oh man, how many people are going to be hating on Protoss then, saying he should have won it if he had that one range?
Yeah, who knows? Yeah.
I think people are
Exactly.
getting a bit sick of Zerg winning so many tournaments. So
Well, so you mean you were unhappy with the number of ZVZs that were happening, John?
Those were great.
no,
Love casting those.
I don't mind them so much.
Oh,
I hate
so
playing
many,
them.
though. Yeah, and actually, after the Elite StarCraft Elite Championship series that we casted, when we went out to have some beers afterwards, I was talking to some of the pro players, obviously, and I mean, Rises Zerg, Nubergini also plays Zerg, and Swanson plays Zerg. I mean, there was a lot of Zergs there. So I said, I was watching Violet play against the Muslim, and Violet, it almost felt like he was intentionally not using Infestors. He was doing this weird build where he was getting 7 Corruptors first, and then he was going Ling, and then moving into Ultras afterwards, and he would get like maybe 1 or 2 Infestors, but that was much later. Like, it wasn't a typical build that you would see, whereas in every matchup you usually see Infestors come out as soon as possible because they're good in every matchup. So when I was watching it, half of me was thinking, I wonder if he's doing this in anticipation of a patch. He wants to see, can I make this work at this high level? And like, or if he was doing it to say, don't patch Infestors. Look, I won't use them. Just don't patch them, please. But at any rate, he did beat the Muslim. But I wasn't sure. I was wondering what his motivation was, because it was an interesting build, and the casters the whole time were like, "What is this build? Like, what is he? Oh, he's made a mistake. He hasn't done the right thing. He's not doing the right build order." And I was like, I don't know. Do you think he makes that many mistakes? Like, I accidentally built 7 Corruptors instead of 7 Infestors. That doesn't make any sense. So yeah. Oh yes.
I
People
still
asking
haven't
about
seen the
Dota Keep.
yeah, no, I still haven't seen the free for all that seemed to be super popular. Everyone was talking about. The
Yeah,
day
I haven't
after.
seen it either. Got a lot of
The VODs still
yeah.
aren't up yet, but NASL is usually pretty good about releasing that on YouTube shortly after. They usually give it to their subscribers first, and then to the heathens afterwards.
Did you guys see Ken Silva in the picture?
We did. Big
Just
bald
okay.
Ken, looking beautiful.
Congrats, Ken. Hey, who was that dog at the event?
Have you not
Dog.
watched NASL ever? I saw
The
you
dog
asking
wasn't
that.
in Canada.
No, it was new.
But it was all season 4. He was there.
Yeah.
The dog
didn't
was just
know.
like
I
on
can't-
every single broadcast. He was
Oh,
just,
I'm
like,
sorry,
chilling
John.
out.
I have 2 kids,
Oh.
and I work, so there.
But you have time to follow the Ritmax.
Yeah. Oh, do you want me to update? Hold on, let me get the breakfast up.
Yeah, can we get I wish we had just like a wide animation that was just like Frank's Ritmax update.
Ritmax, it's the best thing
The
in the whole
Ritmax
show.
Center.
Oh man.
All right, guys, we're gonna give away some Dota 2 keys. King
Nobody's
Panda,
answered.
you're gonna get one for sure. How many do we have to give away, Frank?
We have 1, 2, 3, 4,
Three.
5,
Three sounds
6.
great. Three.
Okay.
Three is perfect. We'll give the other three
I
way
also,
on
you know
Facebook.
what we'll do in the future, and you guys can tell your friends because it's exciting news. I also have a Nuclear Dawn to give away. I think that game's like 20
What is
bucks
that?
on Steam or something.
Ooh.
It's a multiplayer game. I think it's like teams of maybe 10 or more against each other, and you build a base, and it's like a Marine versus Marine thing, and you have like a heavy class, a light class, and a medium class. It's a pretty fun game, and I've played it with some of my friends, and you have to like build a base and defend it and stuff. It's pretty neat. Anyways, I have one of those to give away. I also have Alien Breed to give away. I also have a Half-Life game to give away, but I think everyone does. But anyways, in the future, we should start giving these out because they've just been sitting collecting dust in my virtual inventory.
Cool
So how
story,
about
bro.
if people win, they can.
Yeah,
How does
King
that
Panda
sound?
is going to get one for sure because he has not stopped asking about them. Is there anyone else that desperately wants one?
We need
Please
to
say
ask
so
questions.
in the chat. We did ask the question, but not too many people replied.
I don't think
Some guy said bad things, and it was just like, don't like that game. So
All right, so
Oh,
we can
see,
we're gonna
now,
have.
fold to him. Undead Ghoul, you want one? You got one.
holy cow, this is so easy. Tell your friends. Apparently, we're not
Kalalis.
Esports
Boom, you
Canada
got
is
one
our
too. You three are
pushovers.
the winners. King Panda, Undead Ghoul, and Kalalis. You are the winners. Please message me with your name. Email this, or Frank, you take care of it because of your keys.
So maybe private message me. So I am Jovian. Let me just type it so that you guys can see me. Just private message me, and then I'll have to add you on Steam so that we can do a little tradesies. And I'll give you guys. I guess you'll have your choice, but basically the choices are Dota 2, one Nuclear Dawn, one Alien Breed, and one Half-Life. And I have like 6 Dota 2. So in the future we'll probably do more giveaways.
Oh,
Do
it
all
looks like
these-
some people want to
Yeah,
play
does
after.
everyone in chat?
I'm down to play, yeah.
Has no one in chat do you guys not get enough StarCraft everywhere else? Like there's 24/7.
I think they want to play Dota too.
Oh, are you guys looking to play
Oh,
Dota?
against each other? That's a good call.
No, they're
Yeah,
saying like
build a community,
1v1s
guys.
though.
I don't know what they
Songers,
talk.
you were playing Dota yesterday with DDE and
I was.
Jin and Nubergini. How'd that go?
I got called Chobo by DDE.
Wow, that
It was a sad day. Oh, for SC2. Oh, okay. I don't know. Whatever. I'm down to play a game.
I
Thank you,
cannot.
guys.
I must leave
Must
shortly
go.
to go to my home place.
Then
where I
putting
sleep.
your real ID there, Songers, so people can add you. Get that going.
Just join the chat channel ESC on StarCraft 2, guys, and you'll find some peoples there.
That's good call. I gotta figure out how to look at my messages now. Let me make sure I know how to do this.
It's
All
right at the
right,
top,
I figured
right
it
at the top
out.
when you're logged in. Yep.
Success.
So King Panda, Undead Ghoul, and Klaleles. Please message Joby and God, and he
Holy
will get
cow.
you some Dota keys.
Miss Spite actually messaged me back. I thought she didn't care about me. Thank you, Miss Spite. Maybe we'll have her on the show at some point. How long ago did this happen?
I desperately want to
forgot
be on
about
your
it.
show and bring gifts to give away. I
Oh,
promise
man.
10,000
All right.
viewers. Just like that.
So I already have one message from someone, so I will message you back very soon after the show. But we should do our little goodbyes and thank yous.
Oh, perfect.
We won't talk about Red Max this week.
I don't know. I feel like we could stay on for another hour.
Oh, also, John, have you noticed lately in the episodes that you're a jerk? I don't know if you noticed. Did you notice that? I've been noticing it.
It's called my
pretty bad.
shtick, Frank. Everyone
Being a
needs
jerk
one.
is your shtick.
Yes, people tune
It's
in.
kinda
They're
what I
just like,
do.
oh, how is Quinn going to be a dick tonight? Every show has one.
Yeah.
Every show has one.
You know I'm nice outside of the show sometimes.
You
Yeah.
are. You're like a very pleasant person to say the show. I'm not sure why you're such a
Roughly.
mean jerk in the show.
Enjoy your free Dota keys, guys. I guess Scrooge over here. Next week, who do we have, Frank?
Oh, we have 2 players. Let me see if it's clarity or 4 not. I don't remember off the top of my head. You know where you guys
It's
can actually
4-0.
figure this out? Like I'm telling you now. But if you go to eSportsCanadaTV and go to the forums, we actually have an area there which is called ESCTV, which is what you're watching right now. And we have all the upcoming guests. So if you guys see a guest that you're interested in, not only will you know when they're on, but you can actually post questions ahead of time. It's always awesome to solicit questions from the chat, which is great. But you can also post ahead of time. You can figure out more about the players as well. So next week is the 17th. So December 17th, we have it's 2 people from Team 4 Not. So
Jake
one
Bake?
guy is Jake Bake, yep, and the other guy is Venser. Venser, I think, is the player manager. I remember that, and Jake Bake's a player.
Yep.
So these guys, For Not recently won a clan match between Clarity Gaming and For Not, so they recently won, and I was able to get their contacts and stuff. So these are 2 Canadian people. They're probably going to be talking a lot about what does it take to start, like especially if you're a new team coming into the market, what does it take to start and be successful, and what do you have to do? What are the kind of challenges you face? So it's interesting, especially in Canada. I don't know of many houses, so if you're ever interested in joining a house or getting starting a house, I mean, this is a really good episode to pay attention to. That's it.
I'm excited. Sorry, I just looked at Carbot's Twitter and someone was saying, "Oh, it's actually a girl." Wow.
What's that supposed to mean?
Nothing. It's nothing. Cool.
I don't understand. Was she
No,
proposed?
I happened to be on Carbot's Twitter, and he had a message that was like, "Oh, this person," or it was Carbot answered my question about StarCraft. That made my day.
Oh,
And he was
wicked.
like, "Oh, it was a great question. Thank you."
That's cute.
Yeah, they were really good questions. I was really impressed
They were.
with
Chat was
with
blowing up.
What?
The chat was blowing up.
It was.
All right, next week we have For Not as well.
2
I
people
do.
from For Not.
Yep, I do want to kind of the end of the year, so everything's winding down. There's not really any tournaments left, nothing major. GSL Code A is going on just to see who gets into Code S. So I do want to do some sort of 2012 in review, running over the big news, big tournaments, what happened, and
What,
what's
are we
going to
gonna
happen
have
in
2 hours?
2030. Hey, you want to?
Whoa. It's like 2 episodes in one.
It is. Well, we're gonna take a Christmas break after that, so.
Yeah, but we should be producing some sort of content during that time, so stay
Yeah,
tuned.
we might run replays, or I might do a best of reel.
Mhm.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you, King Panday. That is very nice of you to say that.
I didn't see what he said.
He said,
Let us-
"Why does this not have like 100 viewers?"
Oh.
Yeah, man.
And for anyone watching the VODs or YouTube channels where you don't see the viewers, we're at 99 right now. That is what we're at.
Never talk stream numbers, John.
Yeah, you never talk stream numbers. We're at 99 though. We're at 99. Should be 100, King Panday. I agree. Other than that, I believe that is it for episode 16. Join us next week as we talk to For Not and review 2012, the year that was. What a year indeed. That's where I met these 2 goons.
Yep.
Follow Nick Song
yeah.
at ESC Songers on Twitter and Frank Ricci at ESC Jovian. Do you have some last words, Father Frank?
I wanted to say, do you realize that us and Carbot have roughly the same number of episodes, but Carbot's only slightly more famous than us? That's pretty endearing. I'm glad. I feel good about what we're doing.
Slightly more famous.
Just a little bit.
I guess I haven't told you guys, but I'm going to be featured in the next NASL. He's going to talk about how famous I'm going to be. So just letting you know.
Follow Frank Ricci. This guy gonna be big.
Well, he said
You
he put
haven't
us in
heard
an
of
episode.
Ricci.
So. Guys, if you want to tweet bomb at Carbot Animation and demand that we be in an episode, please do that now.
Don't pay him that $5 though.
Spam.
Don't pay him
Please
that
send him
$5.
all the $5 bills you can.
No.
He
All
accepts
the $5.
Canadian and U.S. donations as well. So
And
do that.
buy shirts. Buy a hoodie or something.
Yeah.
They're actually really cool.
Go to swagling.com and buy a hoodie, buy a t-shirt for your loved one or a little present to yourself and hide it under the tree and act surprised on Christmas morning.
That's what I'm doing.
I've
Those
been
of
your
you who
host.
message me, I'll message you back after the show. Sorry, I just can't do it during the show because I need to make sure John stays in check and doesn't make fun of me. And it takes all of my focus. So
Oh,
go.
nice. Good job, Undead Ghoul. You're our MVP of this evening. Tied with King Panday, who was also great. You guys can be on the show next week. We'll bring you on, ask you all sorts of questions. That's not going to happen, but I've been your host, John Quinn, at Quinn in the Net. Follow me on Twitter as well. Join us at eSportsCanada.ca. Join our forums, join the conversation, participate in esports across this great nation. Thank you to at ESC Songers and at ESC Jovian. Follow them on Twitter as well. Let them know how they're doing. Follow them as they cast games locally and abroad as well. Thank you to our guest this evening at
Mhm.
Carbot Animation, Jonathan Burton.
Yeah.
Follow him on Twitter, Facebook as well. Head to carbotanimations.com. He has 2 new series coming out, so we wait on those with bated breath. Until next time, guys, this has
Goodbye.
been Esports Canada TV.
Success. Episode 16. Good job, guys.